Hi guys, welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. Let's invite our next guest on board now. Devin Choksi of KR Choksi Securities joins in. There's so much that's happened over the weekend, so let's take it step by step. Devin, hi, good morning. First, I want to start with the two deals that Reliance Jio struck over the weekend. And of course, there's the listing of the partly paid up shares today as well. What is your view on all of that, and what's the advice to investors now?
Good morning, Sonia. Both this deal comes from the financial investors, the PE investors. So one thing is sure that I think on one side the company has brought in strategic investor in form of Facebook. On the other hand, I think they have brought in the sovereign funds who are basically the long-term investors into the company. And in the middle, they have got the financial investors in form of PE funds who basically have relatively shorter tenure of investment compared to the other two, though I think it is still long as far as I think the 7-year numbers are concerned. So from that perspective, if you look at it, I think a sensible thing to happen that you are strengthening the investor base with good quality investors who are basically adding also with a good influence on the business side, which is very, very positive. So yes, I think TPG and other company is basically going to go well as far as I think the list of the investors are concerned, with 22% stake among all these investors already into Jio platform. So it should be considered a positive thing.
Okay. Devin, good morning. Thanks for joining us from your evergreen backdrop. What is your guess about where it will list, and at what all prices or what price limit will you continue to recommend a buy on the rights entitlement?
So good morning, Lata. As you see the current difference between the current market price and the right issue price, assuming that I think rounded off figure of 1600 is the current market price and I think 1257 is the right issue price, then probably the spread between the two is somewhere around 343 rupees as you can make out. Now, out of this 1257, the investor has already paid 314 rupees. So balance 629 rupees is required to be paid by the investor over a period of next 12 to 18 months. That should be kept in mind on one side. This 343 rupee, which is the spread between the two prices, is likely to continue, and the breakup can be seen as under. One, I think on one side you calculate the cost of funding for this 629 rupees, which is basically over 12 to 18 months. Even if you factor it at 10%, I think it would come somewhere on between 125 to 130 rupees per share. And balance amount should be seen as a premium continued to be traded for two reasons. One, those investors who have not been able to buy the shares, I think they would probably get a chance to buy the partly paid shares, so lower investment at the same time. And consider this as an opportunity to buy at a long dated option calculation level, wherein you are paying a premium of around 1.45% per month, I think, to pay money over 12 to 18 months time. The advantage out to investor would be that when an main share goes up, say for example 1600 rupee price becomes 2000 over next 6, 8, 9 months, in such situation I think the corresponding price of the right shares goes up. The percentage return that you get out of this would be I think significantly higher, which would make a lot of sense for some of the funds, some of the investors. So that's the reason. In fact, I think it is about 60% plus kind of return that the investor makes over the smaller price that he is paying for partly paid up shares. So that's the advantage that you get, and that's where you are likely to see the premium trading continued for the partly paid up shares, in my viewpoint.
Okay, Devin, good morning. I have a slightly different question. Over the last 3 months, the only thing we've discussed is Jio. But is there a risk to the traditional business which the market perhaps has not taken into account, the kind of rally that we have seen in the stock? And I'm hearing that now Jio is deriving over 50% of the stock price.
Yeah, Anuj, good morning. I think on one side you are right that Jio platform is basically started commanding the 50% of the market valuation, and largely because of the scalability of the business model that it assumes. With all the three verticals, the mobility, the fiber to home, and the enterprise, I think each one of them have the potential to produce higher amount of revenue, higher ARPUs, and better business model compared to current ARPU-driven model. So that is one thing for which I think it is justified in giving you the kind of a 50% market price contribution at this point of time, as far as the value is concerned. And given the possibility that Jio platform could possibly see around 25,000 crore worth of EBITDA over next 18 to 24 months in their books. That is one, I think, reason for which many of the investors are excited about giving it a better valuation than what it is currently holding. So that is given. Now, your pertinent question about the existing business, the core business. The strategic thing that has happened is that it is being separated out into a company O2C, so which is a fundamentally positive thing. Over there, the likely chances are that I think Aramco would come in. So why Aramco? Because I think from pure hydrocarbon business, I think they are getting into a complete value chain, including the specialty chemical, which would be part of this particular company's business. And that's where I think you would see the larger amount of traction for Aramco as well. In that kind of a situation, I don't think that I think the conventional business or the hydrocarbon to specialty chemical business, as we want to call it as, is going to lose out on its team. On the contrary, I think I would consider as the economy of the world starts gaining the momentum, probably I think you'd start getting relatively better performance, stable performance coming out of this particular area as well.
Okay. Devin, we are eagerly waiting for that day when demand will start kicking up for fuel and for everything. But at the moment, the Nifty had a slight green start and then quickly dipped into the red, but not a whole lot. Actually, you should call this a very flat start. What is pulling the market lower? Okay, Adani Ports, Bharti Airtel, it's all over the place. I mean, a whole host of stocks are pulling it lower. But what's keeping it in the green? Hindalco is doing well. Bharti Infratel, Wipro, Grasim. So Hindalco, Grasim numbers well received. The finance stocks are not doing too badly. Bajaj Finserv is higher 2%. ICICI Bank, IndusInd Bank. So financials also are looking reasonable at this point in time. I think the market is a bit all over the place, trying to make up its mind. On the mid caps, BHL is starting badly, and that shouldn't be a matter of surprise at all. BHL is down about 10% almost. Now ICICI Bank has gone into the red. Vodafone Idea is starting in the green. And Hindalco, of course, continues to remain in the green. Yes Bank is in the green. So I don't know. It's a little bit all over the place. I don't know when we will get the first rate for a RILRE stock. The entitlement stock, I don't think there is a price.
Right, 710.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
Lata, it's already there. It's already there.
Okay.
It's already there. 710 rupees is the price on that, Lata. But of course, this is just a first bid. We will have to wait. We'll have to see how this one settles. So let's see. By the way, Vodafone Idea is back in ban, and that stock is up 10%. So let's see. It's today could be an interesting day because the SGX Nifty is still indicating that we'll have a downtake, but pre-open is not ready to believe it yet. It's still trading with only about 9 to 10 point loss. I would wait for market's reaction today on Eicher Motors because they have said that the demand in Royal Enfield business, and that's the bread and butter business, is back to pre-COVID level, 90 to 100% of pre-COVID level. I would want to see how the market reacts to that because that's more forward-looking than the backdated data. But it will be important to see the market's reaction on that one today.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Eicher Motors at the moment is starting in the green. Sonia, any other thoughts? M&M? I would have thought that M&M should people would still be reeling. Yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
No, so M&M, Lata, was the biggest gainer on Friday because the company has taken this decision to tighten their capital allocation policy and exit some of their weak subsidiaries like SsangYong and Genze, and it was up 8% on Friday. This morning in pre-opening, it's slightly settling a bit lower. In fact, I think now it's settling a tad bit in the green. So I want to pose that question to Devin. Devin, how would you react to this? Stripped of their losses, the tractor business actually done quite well for M&M, and now they've taken a stricter capital allocation policy, so not going to spend on these loss-making subsidiaries. Would you buy the stock at this price or would you be cautious?
So on one side, I think you definitely want to give some compliments to management for correcting the mistake. As far as I think the cutting down on the losses and not funding it further, I think those loss-making subsidiaries. So that is a good decision in a wise decision in the given situation. So that's a point I think which one would like to convey. But having said that, I think one will also like to see how exactly they're positioning better in the domestic markets. Tractor, of course, is I think the one which is helping them as well as Escorts, I think, in this kind of times. So they are relatively better off with the tractor business. But whether overall business portfolio of the company is contributing well and profitable, I think, going forward in subsequent quarters, is something which is not clear to my mind at this point of time. So I would not immediately venture into looking at the company from buying point of view. Maybe allow the economic situation to be read further and then probably take a call.
Yes, take a point, but I don't know whether this is the last of the subsidiaries that they have to wind up and take a loss. There are quite a few subsidiaries in the US and elsewhere as well. So to the resident expert on autos, Prakash Diwan, how are you going to approach M&M?
So I would reiterate my view, which I shared with Sonia at the time the numbers came. The way to look at M&M is